Hello everyone, and welcome to this session where we are looking at the records review aspect of the Scholar Cloud system. So if you have the AutoScholar Advisor, then you have access to Scholar Cloud and you are able to download course data. So under this aspect, you'll be able to download your individual assessments in a course. You can download the previous results. You can download all the academic program results, the student biographical information, and what we call the student latent factors here. So we're going to look at downloading all those data sets, and we want to be able to anonymize the data as well. So perhaps you are downloading this data because you want to develop a machine learning model or something useful like that. But it might be the case that you want to share this data with some other person. Perhaps the machine learning expert is a separate person, and you don't want to disclose the student numbers of the students to this outside person. So how do you do that? How do you anonymize the data? So, well, the simple answer is you click anonymize data here, and if we say load students, you'll see it's, load data. You'll see it's going to give us a table here of this strange looking thing called salted key. So this is basically a hash of a student number. It's using the latest hashing algorithm. So it's basically a very secure key for associating a student number. And by the way, there are some secrets in the creation of this hash. So it's not possible generally to convert this back to a student number. So we are going to hash the student numbers. And then in the data set that we create, we will no longer see a student number. We will only see a hash. So as the person who is downloading the data and who is supposed to have access to this data, you would go ahead and click on Excel to download the Excel document which will have this association. So you would keep this file separate and private. You won't share this file with anyone else because the file that you do want to share contains all the data about the students. And apologies, this is run over the edge here, but you see all the assessment data for the students are shown here. And in this table, importantly, we only have the hash of the student number. We don't show the student number itself. So it's possible for you to go ahead and share this table with some third party who is not supposed to have information about the students. So you would go ahead and click one of the options here, and you'll be able to view the students, or you'll be able to download this data. So now you've got the spreadsheet with the hash of the student number and the assessment results. So you can hand this over to your machine learning person or whatever purpose you have for sharing this, and they won't be able to decrypt this, but they will be able to operate on the records. Note that this encryption is one way, or this hashing is one way. And now that you've maintained separately your download of the student number and this hash key, you'll be able to reconstitute that. So this is one type of data set. It's all the assessment data for this course. And coming back here, let's look at some of the other data available. So besides assessment, you've got the final course results. Let's look at student latent factors. So I'm not going to change this. And for this to work, you have to first load the students. So you select the year of interest. Let's say we go to 2018. You click load students. That brings up the list of students who were registered in that year. And by the way, the real student numbers are shown here, but that's because it's understood on this interface you are the person downloading this data. So it is shown, the real student numbers are shown here, but of course in the table that we create, it's not going to be present. So if we click on load data, you'll see it takes a couple of seconds and now it's loaded up. So yet again, we have this hash and we have student number, and here we also have first name and last name. Now here's the actual data, and in fact this is quite a large data set. So we click here on Excel and let's see what's in this data set. Now a couple of things. First, it creates this first row, which I like to just trim out. And then this one does keep the names in, so I just go ahead and delete those. And then here, date of birth, this is in terms of the Unix time. You should delete that as well, because even the date of birth could be used for identification purposes. So I'm just deleting these columns. Okay, and then you can see all kinds of other information about the student. So you'll see here that there's information about the first year of registration, the matric marks, there's the quintiles of the school attended, gender, and then here the performance in the earlier years of study are also shown. So we took a group of students that were registered in a particular course in a particular year, and this information is about the students' performance in the earlier years. So the number of courses attempted, the number of credits attempted, and then how the students have been performing, whether they've been increasing in their performance or decreasing. So these are all valuable factors towards developing a machine learning model. So this is quite a useful table to start to work with. So you have all these data sets available. So if you have the AutoScholar Advisor, you automatically have the ability to download all this data, and you can then go ahead and perform your analysis on that. Now, there is a built-in machine learning module, and I'm just going to show the format that you should get your data tables to before you attempt machine learning. So in your spreadsheet that you create by downloading from the records review part, you'll extract tables of the actual course results. So if you are looking at machine learning on a single course, you should download the assessment data for that course. And if you are looking at previous years, you can download the final exam result as well. And then you should download the latent factors for all the students. So again, you will want to download the anonymized version of this. So only retain the hash of the student number, as well as do remove the first name, last name, and the date of birth. So you would create these sheets, these worksheets. So you may retain a metadata sheet where you have some information about the course of interest. And then under results, you would have a fairly clean sheet where you don't have unnecessary columns and rows. You have the headings up top, and under latent factors, you would also have just the headings up top and the characteristics about the students and so on. So if you create a spreadsheet with those three worksheets in them, then that's suitable for the machine learning module that we'll show shortly.